Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Shelter on Base. I'm Cole Kuiper here with Carmen Kiew, Anthony Garcia, Therese Vinal, and we're going to talk a little Giants baseball. We've got 2 weeks in the bag now, and the Giants are 500. Not what I expected. So a little better than we thought. Series against the Padres, one against the Rangers. How you guys feeling? What's your best from this homestand?
I'm going to go probably my best, and maybe what was the ultimate surprise is that Giants have offense and the Giants are fighters. Like, wait, what?
That's right.
I mean, we were having text message conversations where Anthony jokingly, but also truthfully, was like, after the third inning, guys, they're going to suck this year. Oh my God, they are the worst.
It wasn't that
Any
bad.
normal
Wasn't
Giants
that
fan
bad?
would say, when you're down 5-1, of course you're like, I'm going to turn the channel now because there's no way this team is coming back from this. But they do. They somehow rally in like the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, or the 8th inning, and they come alive. So lesson learned, I learned from this, do not change the channel or turn off your TV if they are down and it's the 8th inning, because magic happens. That's my best.
Well, that magic has got to be my best too. That Yaz walk-off felt like a whole different team. It was so joyous in the celebration with the social distancing. Definitely.
That was so weird though. That like, he was like, "Do not touch me."
They were just jumping up and down in place.
It's like us in a little room watching the game before Triples Alley, celebrating by jumping up and down whenever anything good happens. It was great.
Oh my God, wait, before we go any further, if you're watching this, can y'all smash that subscribe button? I feel like I need to start incorporating that earlier because we release videos every week, but we don't know when because we have a weird schedule. So it helps if you subscribe. And also, like, why not like the video? You're already down there.
You're already here. Just hit the like button. It costs you nothing. It's free.
Get in the mix.
Get in the mix. Get in the mix. Just pretend there's an animation that says subscribe like a professional YouTuber, not us. Why don't I go with my best, which is obviously my good friend Hunter Pence finally got a hit. He was 0 for a lot. I don't even know, but it was the struggle bus of the century. And Gabe Kapler actually just today, or was it today or was it yesterday? It was today, I think. Stuck up for Hunter Pence, says, hey, he's having good at-bats. He's hitting the ball hard. You know, I believe in him. I believe in his ability to hit left-handed pitching. And wouldn't you know it, Hunter Pence kind of gets this loud triple, 403 feet, I believe, and races around the bases like the lovable lunatic we know, and he got his first hit of the season. So
I miss those crazy legs of his. I mean, they look like a cartoon when he runs.
Especially with the high pants and it's just all sock. He's just like one big sock.
Oh, yeah.
Churning.
Yeah, it felt really, I bet it felt really good for him to finally get it out of his system because he had one of the hardest hit balls, but it was just in the dirt the other day. And I think he's just been having trouble kind of launching the ball. So I'm glad he got the ball in the air and it paid off.
I'll say also after he slid into third, you can hear the Giants dugout reacting, and you can tell that they were happy for him. So it seems like he really, you knew this coming in, but he's a veteran, he's a leader in the clubhouse, and it seemed like even though he was struggling, everyone in the dugout is still cheering for him. They want him to do well, which is, you like to see that.
You love to see
it. What was it like out in the Cove when he hit that?
It was, I was with his wife, so obviously it was ruckus because we had all been kind of every at bat hoping that he would get a hit, obviously. And when he did, it felt surreal. And they actually replayed it on the Jumbotron so we could see it from the Cove. And so that was really, really cool, obviously. It would have been cooler if it was a home run. At a certain point, we were like, wouldn't it be cool? Because I was with also Mike Yastrzemski's wife Paige, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if one of these guys hit a splash hit and then the wives got to go get their husband's ball? But they couldn't do the storyline for us guys. Tried.
Cool. You'd have to fight McCovey Cove Dave, but I think
he puts up quite the fight. Oh my goodness.
He does. He fell in the water multiple times and this girl just slid up behind him and sniped the ball. you know, I like McCovey Cove Dave, but I like seeing that girl snipe that ball because
Yes.
you know, you got to give some other people a shot once in a
Share
while.
the love, McCovey Cove Dave. He's got enough balls. Speaking of
balls, please
Speaking of
continue,
balls,
Anthony.
Here's my best is that Oracle Park is all of a sudden a hitter's park. It's essentially Coors Field West. And who knew that in 20 years and 21 seasons, all they had to do was close the fence in right field, close the archways, and the ball has been flying out of Oracle Park. I've always been a traditionalist. I've always been like, you know, I like the pitcher's duel. I like the 2-1 games, the 3-2 games. And I realized that the only reason I've said that is because my favorite team plays in a pitcher's park. Now that it's a hitter's park, I love runs. I love home runs. I love 9-8 games. I love 5-run innings. I love when the Giants hit 2 home runs in one inning, not just a game, in an inning. I feel like a kid that got a new toy, and it's like, this is so much fun. I love this. So screw pitcher's duels. Those are whack. I don't like 2-1. I don't like 3-2 anymore.
Those are whack.
Give me all the home runs. Give me all the runs. It's just fun. I mean, the Giants were down 5-1 today, and they came back. I mean, the other day, you know, the Giants are down 3 in the 7th inning. You're thinking, oh, this is over. And they came back and won Wednesday night. So it's fun. I like runs. I like home runs. Spoiler alert, who knew offense would be this much fun?
I mean,
even though they lost that game against the Padres 7-12, there was still 19 runs scored at Oracle Park.
Love runs. I love
what?
runs.
Wait,
I
what?
mean, it also works in reverse. You have to remember. I mean, Joey Gallo discovered that today.
Yeah.
Chu discovered that today. So you got to be careful when these big boys come to the park, and they'll take advantage.
It's a very good point.
Yeah.
We're recording at Sunday at 10 p.m. That's why we're all like just a little droopy. If we seem tired, we're tired.
So that's the best. That was the best. Here's so let's go and let's put the shoe on the other foot. The worst.
Yeah, we got to get negative.
We got to get negative.
I mean,
my
they
favorite.
are 5-5, so there's got to be some bad things.
There's equal.
Yeah, it's about life is all about balance. My worst of the week, and I'm not going to say I'm not going to say worst. I don't want to be too negative. Just something that I was disheartened to see. Jeff Samarza, the Shark, 2 rough outings, 9 2/3 innings. He gave up 5 runs in both starts. That's 10 runs in 9 2/3 innings, so over a run an inning. Gave up a couple loud home runs. Gave up a home run on Sunday. Gave up 2 on Wednesday. Obviously, he's one of the leaders of the rotation. Just pegged to be the number 2 starter. They didn't play him in the Dodgers series because they said it was a bad matchup for him. And then he comes out, and you hope maybe in a better matchup he would do a little better, and he got knocked around. So obviously not what you want to see from the guy who's supposed to be the number 2 starter, but hopefully he can turn it around. But that's my worst.
The silver lining is he was the first Giants starter to get through to 5 innings. Hey.
There we go.
I think you'd have to drag him out kicking and screaming. He is an old school guy who at one point led the league in innings pitched. So I don't expect anything less than from Jeff Samardzija. I will say that Dodgers matchup, thank God they didn't put him against Samardzija, because, I mean, his bugaboo is and always will be the long ball. And guess what the Dodgers have? A bunch of guys who hit the long ball. No, thank you. Pass.
So I'm going to piggyback off of, I was just disappointed with how this happened. Was the rough Giants debut for pitcher Andrew Triggs. I know we're like Sunday's game is present in our mind right now, but it was disappointing that the poor guy, gets called in because Drew Smiley's finger, and he gets called in today, and then he has to go and relieve Jeff Samardzija. So he gets the pop up in the first batter, but then he walks the next 3, and then all 3 of those batters eventually score. So now the poor guy's ERA is 81.00. Not 8.1. It's 81.00.
Just means it's going to go down. That's all that means. Is
okay.
That it's going to go down a lot, hopefully.
Yikes.
That's a big number.
I mean, I'll go with a lesser kind of game-related thing, but Jalen Davis is no longer with the big league squad. I'm a little sad. I wanted to sing "Bye Bye Jalen Davis." Now you get that, Anthony?
I do.
You're
Okay, great.
500 candles in the wind.
But I was a little sad because I like Jalen Davis, and from all accounts, I'd heard the Giants were really high on him. They love him, and I was a little surprised to see him go when he went. I kind of always thought he would maybe have a little bit of a shuttle experience back and forth from the Stay Hot squad, but I didn't expect it to happen so soon. I thought that his lead was a little bit longer than it was, but I'm sad because I think he's supposed to be one of the pillars of the Giants' future, and I was just disappointed to see him go so quickly.
I mean, I'm rooting for the whole team, obviously, but I'm extra rooting for any of the guys who have come on our show.
Yes, 100%.
True.
Very high on Jalen Davis over here in my household.
Yeah, he's the sweetest little angel in the world. Why would we not want to see him succeed?
Exactly.
He was extremely nice. I really enjoyed our conversation with him, which you can probably see on the archives on this page that you're on right now.
Yeah, and maybe you would know if you had subscribed.
My worst is similar, just in the sense that it's nothing specific from a game. The NL West is good, like good. Giants are at 500, have been up and down just above 500, and we're far from the top of this division. Dodgers, Rockies, and Padres are all well above 500. We're the best division in the NL. It's getting competitive over here on the West Coast, Best Coast.
Well, a chance to make up some ground because 4 in Colorado next.
That's right.
They're going back to LA already. So they've got 7 games against 2 of those teams. So, just stay afloat. Let's just stay afloat and kind of see what happens and just stay in it.
I like it. Such optimism.
Yeah. Just wait for inning 3 of the next game where Anthony is texting all of us. I'm turning this off. I'm over this.
It's a reverse jinx. It works every time, Therese.
It was all by design.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think if we – go ahead, Cole. Sorry.
Who do you guys have for the overall best player or play of the last 7 days? What do you guys got as the number one highlight?
I mean, if you have to go highlight, I guess it would be Yaz hitting the walk-off. But if you're going to go player of the series, it's got to be Donnie Barrels.
Donnie Baseball.
Donnie Solano, he was 12 for 21 this homestand. He had 13 RBI. Saturday, he was leading all the major league in RBI. What? A Giants player was leading in RBIs?
It's the park. It's because of the park.
And somebody today in the Cove turned to me and went, was this guy on the roster last year? And I was like, yeah, he was.
Oh, man.
We know because we watched so many games, but he was actually a pretty solid player last year as well. Yeah. He was just overshadowed by a lot of different things, but he's always been a pretty reliable, versatile player for the Giants. And now because all the kind of smoke has been cleared and everybody is like, who's that guy? He's rising to the top. So, you love to see it.
You'd like, obviously, not having Belt and Longoria to start the year is bad, but it gave Solano a chance to play every day, and I think he's obviously capitalized on that, made the most of that opportunity. Also, in a 60-game sprint, you kind of got to play the hot hand. You got to leave the guy who's in. So Belt and Longoria are back. Crawford's obviously a Gold Glove caliber shortstop. But they got to – if he's hot and it's a short season and it's a sprint and you need his bat, you got to keep him in the lineup somewhere. And the better he does, it's going to be harder and harder for Gabe Kapler to take him out. And I think he's earned a spot somewhere in that infield.
I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
So let's clear the bases. We're going to clear the bases today. Let's start on first.
You like that? I came up with that.
You're so smart.
That was all Therese. We'll start with first base. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I like a Dodger. I have a new favorite player, and he's a Los Angeles Dodger. And his name is
Joe Kelly.
His name is Joseph Kelly, who threw at a couple Astros, and then after striking out Carlos Correa, stuck his tongue out and incited the first ever social distance benches clearing scuffle.
Wait, Anthony, can you reenact his faces?
It was like –
I think we all need to do it at the same time on 3.
It wasn't quite a –
It was like –
yeah.
he made like a pouty face first.
Yeah, It wasn't like a tongue out like a third grader, and it was kind of like a frown. It was like this weird kind of in between, which makes me think, is that the first time Joe Kelly has ever stuck his tongue out at someone? Maybe it was, but Joe Kelly, unfortunately for that incident, got suspended 8 games,
which is how many more than what the Astros got?
Which is
Eight more.
8 games is a lot, and in a 162 game season, that's 22, which is absurd. Also, Joe Kelly got suspended more games for throwing at the cheater than the cheaters got for cheating. So, I mean, it sounds like, some of the other justice systems in this country. Not very fair, not very righteous. But
I would like to bring up, let's remember back during the quarantine time where Joe Kelly was practicing in his backyard and broke his own window because he missed the large pitching net that was happening. So part of you was like, when the first one happened, you're like, was that on purpose? And then it happened again. You're like, oh, that definitely was on purpose. Oh, it's his glasses. His glasses are definitely helping him see who he wants to hit.
I mean, we also need to point out that Joe Kelly wasn't even part of the Dodgers who got taken advantage of. He was on the freaking Red Sox, who have also been accused of cheating as well. So Joe Kelly, listen, I kind of don't feel like this is a Joe Kelly versus the Astros issue. This is a function of MLB not taking the right course of action to force these players' hands into doing something and like doing all this vigilante shit. That's basically the problem. If they had just done the right thing and addressed the cheating, then maybe Joe Kelly wouldn't have felt the need. Not that I think it's ever right to throw at somebody's head. I think that's like kind of a no-go for me, but you kind of need to, grab it by the balls, MLB. You got to do something for cheaters. Otherwise, what's deterring them from doing it again? Nothing.
Cheated. They won a World Series. They got to another World Series. None of the players faced any discipline at all. The least they can do is take off their batting gloves and go to first base when they get hit. I mean, that's all you got to do. Just wear it.
They need to wear it. And I was actually, because I remember Joe Kelly from somewhere. So I went back, and do you guys remember he got into it with Tyler Austin, former Giant, and beat the shit out of him.
What?
Why don't I remember this?
This was
When did
2
this
years
happen?
ago, Red Sox Yankees. And it was a really good base brawl. I was watching on YouTube this morning. You guys should check that out.
Who won that fight?
Joe Kelly won, and he started like a whole hashtag Joe Kelly Fight Club, and it's like his thing now that he's like a fighter.
Dodgers' newest BP T-shirt.
Oh,
Joe Kelly
totally.
Fight Club.
They love their shirts.
They love their
They
stupid
love their
shirts.
shirts. Dude, Cole, if you were going to be on any team, it would be the Dodgers. They are such trolls. That is your team right there.
I mean, I guess if you're not winning championships, you got to have something.
Oh, okay. There you go. Just need a little more.
The moment I loved most of that whole saga was when he was making those funny faces, talking shit, and then he realized that the other team was actually going to do something about it, and he was like, man, now I got to actually fight. Like, I've been in that situation. Like, I shouldn't have talked that shit. Oh, man.
I shouldn't have talked that shit.
Yeah.
Wise words to carry on through our lives.
Don't start none, won't be none, I believe is the phrase. But shout out to Joe Kelly. Love Joe Kelly now. Free Joe Kelly. Let's move to second base. The Giants made a move today. They traded speedy outfielder Billy Hamilton to the New York Mets. I was excited to see Billy Hamilton. I like speed. I love when players steal bases. I was excited to see what he could do with the Giants, but he never even got up to the big leagues. So RIP Billy Hamilton, hashtag Forever Giant.
Hashtag
I was
Forever
looking
Giant.
forward to him being on second base to start extra innings. I thought that was the whole reason we had him.
Apparently not. I don't really know what the point of that. I wonder if they just got him just to flip him. Who knows?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
don't know. Farhan works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, but a part of me wonders if it has anything to do with what third base is, if you want to keep going, Anthony.
I will keep going. Yoenis Cespedes, our former friend from across the bay, basically ghosted the New York Mets. He did the old Irish goodbye. That's not racist, is it?
No, I love the Irish goodbye.
I think it's okay. And
Okay.
what a power move.
Hell
He
yeah.
basically packed all his shit without saying anything to anybody, and just moseyed off into the sunset, leaving his agent to tell the manager mid-game that Yoenis had opted out. Power move. Mic drop. See you later.
Yeah,
That's the way to do it.
That is awesome.
Yoenis pieced out. It's kind of like, from Half Baked, the fuck you, you're cool.
You're cool.
That's basically what he did. He basically Scarface Half Baked the New York Mets. But also, the Mets, probably not the most well-run organization.
No.
They PR bumbled that today. Because
Oh my gosh!
first it was Yoenis didn't report. We don't know where he is.
Made
And
it sound
then-
like something bad happened to him, like the mafia got him or something.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't find him. He didn't report. Is he okay? Is he alive? Where is he? And then conveniently that morning they trade for an outfielder. Conspiracy theorists saying they knew this beforehand. So they either they either shamed Cespedes or they put out this statement without figuring out if he was okay. And the Mets don't have the best reputation for running their team. As you can see, their team hasn't been good in a really, really long time. But maybe what Cespedes wasn't right, but also the Mets, I feel like, made some poor choices also.
I cannot wait to see the New York Post headline tomorrow morning. They are the best and the most savage about their headlines. So I'm going to pop that browser open bright and early tomorrow to see what they do.
Yeah, send that screenshot on the group thread. I need to see that ASAP.
I know, it's probably something absolutely ridiculous, so I can't wait.
So he opted out. Lorenzo Cain of the Brewers opted out Saturday. And it just kind of made me think MLB is having some issues with COVID. And if they're not going to shut it down.
Some?
They're having a lot of issues with COVID. And I'm for the players. If the league isn't going to shut it down and do the right thing, then maybe the players are going to say, you know what? Deuces. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
There's not enough for them to do that.
Would you include Mike Trout on that list?
Well, he had a baby. So
He had a baby yesterday.
That was a different flavor of opt-out, but I'd still call that an opt-out.
I mean, listen, I just feel like we're going down this road now where you need COVID hall monitors, and they're just, I mean, what person are they going to hire to hold back Jeff Samarza from going to get Taco Bell? I don't know. But I do worry that this is not an effective, scalable solution to a pandemic. So I guess, do we feel like the season will be played in its entirety? Or do we feel that it's about to get shut down real quick?
My reaction to that is the Joe Kelly face.
Okay, thank you.
I think they're going to do everything in their power to finish.
What a political answer. Therese?
Well, no, I think I agree with Anthony in the sense that Rob Manfred is going to do everything in his power to make sure that they finish this season. Those threats
wasn't the question.
The threats this weekend were basically empty threats. Like, if you guys don't get this together, we're going to shut down the season. And then he goes around and turns around and says, we're going to finish this season regardless. The players just got to get it together. So I think that I don't think it's shutting down, not unless all the players decide to get COVID and opt out.
So I'll answer your question with a question, Carmen. How bad does it have to get for MLB to shut it down? Does someone have to get hospitalized? Does someone have to die? And
I think it would have to get
does
beyond.
A whole team need to have to get wiped out? Like, what needs to happen?
I actually think it has very little to do with the actual players. Because I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure MLB cares very much about who plays on the field. They could put, little dogs with gloves on the field, and they would be like, "Let's go." I think it has everything.
Awesome,
right? Like, sign me up. But I really think it has everything to do with their public image. I think once they start getting shit from different cities, mayors, fans, that's when they're going to pay attention to it, when it's demanded of them, not when they have to self-regulate, right? So I think it'll take a city to shut down and say no more sports or whatever for that to actually happen. I actually don't think the MLB gives a shit about who gets sick and how many players get sick. I don't think that concerns them at all.
I think that's a really good answer. I think you're right. It's probably going to take backlash.
Yeah.
Probably the only city that's going to care about doing that is San Francisco. And
New York, maybe.
Seattle, maybe.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Not
Of course,
Texas,
leave it
not
to
Florida.
Miami. They're like, just keep getting sick. Stay in Philly.
You know
It's
what?
They're like, we'll
Bring
just pick
everybody
up some
here.
new players on the pier or like whatever. They don't even care.
Yeah. Oh.
By the way, hot follow. Andrew McCutcheon has been cracking me up. If you're not
So-
following Andrew McCutcheon,
So much.
he is the funniest person. He posted like I forget what it was, Therese. You and I were both dying over it though.
Wasn't it like a woodchuck or something? And it was like, he likes to lead off his Twitter things with like, person, how is your day going today? Me. Like,
Or I'm very into former Giant Andrew McCutcheon because he's been cracking me up.
the glass half full one today was pretty funny too, where it said like, person, I look at the glass and I see half full. Me. I look at the glass and I say, fill me up again. I need another.
I miss that guy.
I do too. He was a Giant for such a short amount of time, but he really felt great on the team. And he looked good in the uni.
Yeah, he really did. God, I miss him. Maybe one day he'll be back.
Forever Giant.
Forever.
Giant.
Forever Giant.
Well, I think that's a good happy note to end on. What do you guys think?
With
That's
Yeah.
a great note. Hopefully we have baseball still next week. It's week to week, I feel like. We'll see. Will we have baseball? Will we not? Who knows?
Until then, should we put Barry in the Hall of Fame?
We damn right we should.
Why?
That's right.
Gosh darn right.
Thanks for tuning
He
in,
almost
everyone.
forgot.
Once again, subscribe, like, do all the YouTube things on this channel, and we'll see you next week.
All right, let's see. How the fuck do I stop this? Stop.